Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be making these easy, beginner-friendly reversible stockings. I'm going to be making 4 in this video, one for me, one for my husband, and one for each of my 2 cats. The first thing I'm doing is cutting out my fabric pieces, starting with the main stocking pieces and linings. I'm using the dark holly fabric as all of my linings because I had a lot of it. For the outside and cuffs, I'm using whatever scraps I had in my stash. I love getting my scraps at this store called Remainders. They sell small pieces of fabrics perfect for small projects like this. Now I'm cutting out the cuffs. This white fuzzy fabric was actually our old tree skirt. If you haven't seen it yet, you should check out my latest video where I made a new tree skirt for our tree. Now I need to sew the cuff pieces together. You can actually just cut the cuffs as 2 pieces instead of 4 if you have enough fabric. But since I'm using scraps, I just didn't have enough and had to patch pieces together. Next, I'm attaching the cuffs to the main stocking pieces. Before I put right sides of the cuffs and main pieces together on the back half of the stocking, I'm sticking a folded piece of ribbon on the top of the main. The edges of the main, ribbon, and cuffs should be facing the same direction, sandwiched together so that the outside is the wrong side of the fabric. Just in case you're curious, here's the most popular story of why we hang up Christmas stockings. This excerpt comes from a Smithsonian Magazine article. A recently widowed man and father of 3 girls was having a tough time making ends meet. Even though his daughters were beautiful, he worried that their impoverished status would make it impossible for them to marry. St. Nicholas was wandering through the town where the man lived and heard villagers discussing that family's plight. He wanted to help, but knew the man would refuse any kind of charity directly. Instead, one night, he slid down the chimney of the family's house and filled the girls' recently laundered stockings, which happened to be drying by the fire, with gold coins. And then he disappeared. Now it's time to attach the sides and get the back and front of the stockings together. With the right sides together, pin the front and back pieces together, making sure to leave a couple of inches unsewn at the bottom of the lining side. We just need enough room to flip it right sides out later. Make sure to line up the seams around the cuff area. I start by pinning those first and then work my way out towards the feet. Also, make sure not to accidentally sew the ribbons into the sides. to flip it right sides out, using that unsewn area at the bottom of the lining side. Now it's time to sew that little gap. You can do a basic stitch if you want, but I'm going to do a ladder stitch. The ladder stitch is practically invisible, and that's what makes this a reversible stocking. Here's how to do a ladder stitch. First, fold the edges of your opening inward. Start your thread inside the fold so the knot is hidden. Take a tiny stitch in the fold on one side, then cross over and take a tiny stitch in the fold on the other side. Keep going back and forth, left, right, like little rungs of a ladder. Then pull the thread and the seam closes invisibly. Last but not least, push the lining into the stocking. It's up to you which side you want to be the lining, because they both have the loops and they should be finished nicely at the bottom. It's up to you how you want your cuff, but I'm folding over the cuff and using the loop that is inside the stocking to hang it. Here are the finished stockings. What do you think? Comment below what you like to give as stocking stuffers. Also, I kind of wish I had done this, but an idea is to take your foot measurement and make a stocking that fits your feet and walk around in them. An idea for next time, I guess. Anyway, if you can, I'd really appreciate it if you'd like this video and subscribed. Thanks for watching, and see you in my next one.